Well, there are a number of reasons to oppose this proposal. Trump is talking about a $54 billion increase in the military. And I think when you look at that, you have to back up and look at the size of the military already. And the problem there is that we already have a military that's bigger than the 7 next countries in the world. And many of those countries are allies of ours. So we already have a military that's far bigger than it needs to be. So the way that military spending should be going is down. I think we've also seen that the president called this a national security budget. We've seen that the military is a very blunt instrument in terms of dealing with current security threats, whether we're talking about terrorism or global warming. There's nothing that an F-35 can do to help protect you from a dirty bomb or some other kind of terrorist attack or from global warming. And so one of the things that we are most concerned about what Mr. Trump said is that in order to pay for that huge increase in military spending, he's going to be taking money from the EPA. He's going to be taking money from the State Department. Those things actually we need to beef up to make the country more secure. You had even Republican appointed secretaries of defense like Robert Gates saying, we need to ramp up diplomats. We have enough soldiers. Our soldiers, as brave as they are, and have not been able to solve the problem of terrorism because fighting and shooting and bombing has not gotten us more safe. So to take money from diplomats, when that's exactly what we need to increase funding for, to pay for this huge military increase, makes no sense at all. And I think there should be bipartisan agreement about that.
Well, is there any chance? I mean, keep in mind that we have a Republican-controlled Congress, and we have a president who I think most people will agree has taken on a Republican agenda.
Well, I think that's correct. And I think it's an open question of whether the Republicans will stand up to the president on this and whether, they want to use political capital in that way. I think, you have a couple factions within the Republicans. You've got your budget hawks and your defense hawks. And I think some of the budget hawk folks are going to be angry about this increase, or maybe hopefully, just based on financial reasons that we can't afford it. And then you have people, I think, even those that support defense spending, when they see cutting from the State Department, they're not going to necessarily agree with that. I mean, we've had Republican State Departments and Democratic State Departments. Diplomats do important work. I think we saw, for example, with the Iran deal, that we were able to avoid a war, get our security goal met of blocking the pathways of Iran if they chose to pursue a nuclear weapon, pursuing a nuclear weapon. Those were diplomats that had that security victory. So I do think some Republicans are going to look at that like we're slashing the State Department in order to ramp up spending on weapon systems that we don't need. I think they're going to disagree with that, some of them. Whether it's enough or not, I think that's the open question at this point.